At the Money Show in Toronto, we're talking to Ryan Modesto, the CEO of 5i Research. Ryan, welcome to SmallCapPower.
Thanks for having me here today.
Introduce us to your platform. You're into stock research. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so 5i Research does conflict-free investment research on the small to mid-cap Canadian equity space. And there's three kind of cores to our service. So there's over 70 research reports that we cover on Canadian equities, and we have three model portfolios that also cover kind of your typical investor type, so you're a balanced investor and you're more conservative investor. And we have a final piece of our service that's a question and answer section as well. So investors can ask us, something as simple as what's a tax-free savings account, or, I'm looking at this certain stock, what is your guys' opinion on it? And typically we can get a response back within 48 hours, and that's been our members have really enjoyed that piece of the service as well.
So within the dividend space, what kind of companies are striking your eye?
One of the companies that's been popping up on our radars right now, we've been covering it for about a year now, is BRP Inc., the ticker is DO. And so they make Sea-Doos and Ski-Doos, and they recently just did a secondary offering. Because of that, the shares dropped, I think, about 15% in a day or two. And the key with that is that nothing's really changed at the company. Right? So you have a private equity owner who needs to liquidate their assets, because that's kind of the job of a private equity firm. They have to exit their investments. That's what they're doing right now. They're just selling their shares, but markets didn't like it. And I think some people are viewing it as maybe a bit of a management calling a top in the space, but we think it's just you got to sell at some point.
What would you advise investors today? How should they go about building their portfolios? What are the simple rules that they should live by?
Diversification is the first one. We see a lot of Canadian investors. Home bias. You see home bias in all portfolios, but it's particularly large in Canada, right? Like technically, when you look at the size of Canada relative to the global economy, your Canadian allocation should maybe be something around 5% in your portfolio. Obviously, that's not very realistic because there's tax issues and foreign exchange concerns that a Canadian investor has. But we see some Canadian portfolios that have up to 80% Canadian equity, and that's just too much, right? So diversification is the first really key when you're looking at portfolio construction, and then geographic and sector diversification as well. You want to own a bit of U.S., you want to own a bit of emerging markets, and you want to own some of the different sectors in those areas as well, because we're believers that we can't time the market, so we'd rather just own everything, and then when things work out in a certain geography or industry, then it'll work out for the investor because you're already holding some exposure, and then that'll help offset the other areas that maybe aren't doing as well.
Wonderful, Ryan. Thank you for your time, and wish you a good time at the Money Show.
Thank you.